Hey guys, Kern here from Home Recording Weekly. I hope you're having a good time. I know I am. Today I have the FET compressor. It is a 1176 style compressor from Softube, from the good people over at Softube. They have taken the famous 1176 style compressor that we all know and love, and they kind of gave it a retro look. When I see this, I think of like the old home receivers that I used to have back in the day. Boy, those things were very cool. Anyway, this is the FET circuit. I have a microphone that's like this. It means there's no tube in it. They use different magic, and I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to ping me because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but as I understand it, it's got to do with transistors and instead of tubes. So I guess you could think of it as solid state. It's definitely analog, even though this is obviously a plug-in and it's on a computer, so it's in the digital world. They have modeled in 1176. You are used to seeing the black 1176 everywhere. They're famous. They have no threshold knobs, as it were. They have an input. They have an output for makeup gain or for turning down if things get too loud. These are the compressors that have the buttons on them: 4 to 1, 8 to 1, 1 to 1, 4 to 1, 8 to 1, 12 to 1, 20 to 1. And then the all famous all button. And when you push that, all of these become active. These are also used everywhere because the attack of this compressor is blazingly fast. They're used in mastering, they're used in mixing. I use them almost primarily in parallel compression tracks, or better known as bus compression. And I'm going to show you some examples here. I've got drums and bass, and here's the disclaimer. The bass has an EQ and a compressor on it already. It is me playing the bass. However, I plugged my Fender bass into my computer and I used Amplitude 3 for bass sounds. So it's not like I mic'd up a bass amp. If that means anything to any of you guys, at least I told you and I'm being honest about it. The drums that you're going to hear today are, get this, Steven Slate drums. Say what you will. They're samples, but what I have to show you, it's okay. It's going to work just fine. Now, instead of buying any old 1176 plug-in, and there's a lot of them on the market, all of my favorite companies make a version, and they're all very good. And this one is unique in a few ways. The first thing that I absolutely fell in love with is this ratio knob. Like I said, usually there's the buttons that you use to say, okay, I want 4 to 1 compression or 20 to 1 limiting, or all of them on for absolute smashing enjoyment. This, you can turn it anywhere in between you want, and that should have been done 30, 40 years ago on the hardware units, I think. That's brilliant. Attack, release, nothing new here. Input, output, that's fine. You'll see over here this parallel inject. Now, as far as I know, that is for using this thing either in, instead of only in series, you can use it at 50%, and you're using this in parallel, aren't you? For example, if I had a harmonica track and I put this on the harmonica track and I set this halfway, then half of the dry signal is still coming through. So it's like I'm using this in parallel instead of series. Brilliant. That is so awesome, especially for the guys that are having a hard time using bus tracks when they master. That's awesome right there. That lets you do this in parallel. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. You will soon. It's not that important. I think it's awesome. Lastly, this detector circuit down here. This thing has a look ahead, which, best of my understanding, it's like you delay everything. But if you look at it the opposite, this is looking ahead for transients that are coming, and it gets prepared for that. Also, there's a low cut. If you have all of your drums going into this, and maybe the kick drum is making it work really hard, then you can tell this thing to ignore the low frequencies. You can make it ignore the high frequencies, whatever you want. And of course, you can use it as a side chain. Now, all of that stuff in the real world would be impossible. All of that stuff I just told you about, the detector stuff, would be impossible unless, as far as I know, you get the Softube. Maybe there's others doing it. I know that Softube is doing it, and this thing just looks awesome. Now, I use this on podcasts. I use this on spoken word stuff a lot. It's smooth. It does saturate if you kick it up too much. If you use it too much, it gets gnarly. But, you know, a little of it goes a long way. I'm going to stop talking finally and start playing some music. This is the bass. Now, I am going to turn down the smasher. What we do is we have, like I said, a bass track right here. Sorry about that. This red track that I have highlighted in front of you is my bass. So that's all this is a bass. There's an EQ and a compressor on it. There is a pre-fader send of this track. An exact duplicate of this track is going to this bass track. This parallel track. This parallel bass track has the Softube FET compressor on it. And as you can see, I've got it as fast, the attack as fast as it will go. The release, I'm hanging on to it as long as possible. And I've got the dial on the all setting, so all of these ratios are active. Yeah, it's smashing it, it's pumping it, it's destroying the audio. Why is that a good thing? Because I can dial in how much I want. Both of the original bass track and the bass smash track are going into another track, so that I get these two volumes of the original bass and the smashed bass where I want them. Then I can have one main volume. So I'm using the original bass track along with the smashed track as my bass sound. So making it pump and distort and fart and over compress like I'm doing really brings life and excitement to drums, and especially when there's a tom fill. But toms in general, drums in general, and bass, I've used this on vocals. I've used this trick on vocals, on guitars, on all kinds of things, and it's never let me down. I use parallel bus compression probably too much, but man, once you start using it, it's just awesome. So let's hear what the bass is. I'll play it, and then what I'm going to do is bring up this slider right here, and that is my smashed 1176, my Softube FET track. And like I said, there's a lot of it, and I'm going to bring it in slowly, and you will hear it get louder. Don't let that fool you. Listen for the excitement, the realism of this bass. And I'm going to find a busy spot, and we're going to play it. So here we go. Although it can be very hard to hear things, especially when I make a video of it and the audio gets compressed and you're playing it through your system, whatever that is, it's very difficult to hear things. I hope you can hear that. Where I'm sitting, things just got really dynamic and exciting. Now, I'm going to do it again for the drums. I haven't EQ'd or compressed any of these samples. These are samples. These are Steven Slate drums. Say what you will. That's what I had to work with. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the samples. It has everything to do with the technique. So I have everything going into the all drums bus track. All of the hi-hats, snares, everything. What I've done is I've taken a direct pre-fader send from the snare, the kick, and the toms, and that's going to the drum smash. So I am going to play the drums, and then I'm going to bring in the drum smash, and as before, I have this thing set the same. The attack is as fast as it will go. The release is as slow as it will go. I got the input up on this one. But again, it's all, so it's like pushing the all button and having all of these ratios going. I'm just damaging the drums, but I'm only going to use a little bit of it, and it's going to sound incredible. Here we go. One thing you will hear if, what you've recorded has room sound in it. When you remove all of the peaks and you turn up what's left, which is going to be the quiet stuff in a track, you're going to hear that room sound more. And it sounded like a reverb there, but it's just more of the room sound that those samples were recorded in. And that's it. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Like I said, I used 1176 style compressors a lot. Once you get the hang of them, it's quick to dial in what you want. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. I use these on bass, especially with parallel compressive bus tracks. I do it on drums, I do it on bass, I do it on vocals, I even do it on guitars, especially acoustic stuff. I'll drop one of these across an acoustic track and just use this here to maybe get half, because these can be harsh. Like I said, they're fast, and the ratio can be, if you set it harsh, it's going to be harsh. So I like to set it harsh and then bring in half, or use it as a parallel bus track. I love it. It's the FET compressor from Softube. One of the best 1176 compressors I have now, because of the knob, because of the whole detector circuit, and the fact that you can use it in series or parallel from this knob right here. Brilliant stuff. You owe it to go over to softube.com and download the free trial of this stuff and try it. If you like it, buy it. I'm in love. I love it. I've got a lot of the Softube stuff now. I'm getting hooked on the stuff they make because they just make quality stuff. My name's Kern, and I post home recording weekly. If you wish to add studio treatment to your recording and mixing room, then I have a free ebook on how I made my own bass traps and my own broadband absorption panels. I did it all for about $150, something like that. I've got some rough plans, lots of images. It's all yours for free. Head to homerecordingweekly.com and get yourself a free copy. It's yours for the taking. It's my way of saying thank you. We'll see you next time over at homerecordingweekly.com right here on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe, and I post a lot of stuff on Facebook, so I'm always over there too. Thanks for your time, and check this out. They have free downloads over there, free trials on Softube stuff. It's well worth your time to give these professional plugins some of your time.